Welcome TechBrothersIT. In this video, we are going to take a look on metadata activity, and we'll be using metadata activity to load the files from the lakehouse to the warehouse dynamically. So depending on the naming of those files, we'll load them to different tables. So what exactly is the metadata activity? Get Metadata Activity in Microsoft Fabric is used to retrieve information about data sources such as files, folders, or database tables. Before performing any data movement or transformation, it is often used to make a pipeline dynamic, adaptive, and more reliable. So here are some scenarios where if we are checking the list of the files and we can or last modified date and name from different folder we can get by using get metadata activity. File, it will show us information such as file size, last modified date, name, column count, and all that. And for the table as well, it will show us column names, data types, and schema. So let's take a look and then we are going to perform a complete demo how to use metadata activity with ForEach loop to load files to a different table dynamically from lakehouse to warehouse in Fabric. Let me open my workspace here. So this is my workspace, and if I go to my workspace, I have different folders created, and one of the folder is called pipelines. In the pipelines, if you go to new item, and then you will use this data pipeline. Let's call this one metadata activity. So I'm going to metadata activity. Okay, mdata. So that's fine. Now we are creating this pipeline. So now we are here in our pipeline, and there are many ways we can go to the activities here and then use the get metadata activity here, or I can click right here pipeline activity, and then it's going to show me this menu here, and I can use from here. Let's check get metadata here. Now let me bring this one in center, and now we are gonna scroll up to see the settings. So this is a default setting, just a name, description, activity state, activated or deactivated. So leave this as is, no big deal about this one. Go to setting here. Now here when you go to setting, it will ask you can create connections to different data sources. So here you see that I have tech data warehouse. So let me go to the tech data warehouse, and I will show you. I have some schemas here, then under schema I have tables. So I have these different tables. Now if I go back to pipeline and I will select the data warehouse, and this is a tech data warehouse in my Fabric here. Now you see that it is asking me, hey, you select something out of it. You can select the table from here, and in this case let's say if I will select dim customer. Once I select dim customer, and it is asking me what you want to do, field list. So I will click right here on the new, and then it's asking me about arguments. So here if I will check, then it's saying, hey, guess what, are you interested to get the column count, or the if the table exists, or the structure of the table? So depending on different things I can choose. Let's say if we would like to see the structure of that table, and maybe later on we will use that in the next activities. So now it's going to show us the structure of the table. So it has completed successfully. Now we can go to the input here, and we know that in the input we have selected the tech data warehouse, and now we have selected the schema, sales, and dim table. Now if I close this, now go to the output, and here you can see that it's given me the structure of that table. It's given me the physical name of that's a customer ID, that's a column, and then its type is integer 32, and a logical type int 32. Then the name of the column customer ID, physical int, and for precision and scale, and so it gives me a lot of information about that column. Then it goes to the next column, first name, and give me all that information about that column. Then go to the last name, and then give me all that information. So this is helpful. Maybe I'm interested to find out the list of the columns and then use them later on in some activities. Now let me change this a little bit, and we go to the say column count or table exist. So if I say exist, it's gonna run the activity, and it's going to return me true or false value. Okay, our activity has completed successfully. Let's click on the output, and you can say that here it says exist is equal to true. So now it is showing me exist is equal to true, and if our table would not exist, then it would show us false. I could have used this information in the if condition in next activity, and then maybe make some decisions. Maybe I want to load the table. If does not exist, maybe I want to create the table and all that. Now that's great. Now let's go and change our data source connection. Now in this case, I'm gonna go to the Tech Brothers lake house. So this is my lake house. If you go to my lake house, you're gonna see the tables, you're gonna see the files. And I'm interested more in towards in the files, and let's say into the stage folder. So let me take you there, and now in the lake house is showing you can select tables or files, and if you select the tables, and then you can do more things, such as you want to add some argument here. Let's delete this one first, and we want to refresh. And now if I will select here, you have those different options available. Now if I will select the files, then the menu will change a little bit. Let me just delete this, and now let's refresh, and hit refresh here actually, and then now you see that I can select different files here, and now if I will go to the arguments, it has changed. So now it is showing me child items exist, item name, item type, last modify. So these are all the properties from the files. If I will click here on the tables for the lake house, and let me refresh as well. Now I'm gonna just delete this and make sure we are connected with the lake house, so it's showing the properties according to the lake house tables. Now if I will select new here, it is showing also all these three properties, because this is regarding to the tables. So I'm going to go to the files here, and then I'm going to browse to one of the folder called stage, and then I'm going to hit OK here. And then what is happening, let's say if I want to get all the files from that folder, I can select child items. Or if I am interested into the just exist, if some specific file I'm looking for, then I can do that. So now let's go with the child items, and let's execute this. It's gonna run this metadata get metadata activity, and then it's going to get us all those different files. And I have already shown you can get other information such as last modified, get file size, and all that. That's possible. So now you see that it is given us the child items. In that child items is shown us two properties. One is name, another is a type. Okay, so you can see that it is returning us around 6 files. I'm going to leave the other properties for you to explore, and you can always go back and just drag the get metadata, and then check each of them and execute and see the output. So you can see that it is item name, item type, last modified, and all those different information is very helpful in many times scenarios. But I'm going to move forward with my scenario, and here if you see in the lakehouse I have these different files. One is called customer Asia, and then it has 4 columns and 3 records. Same way I have customer India, Pakistan, and different. I would like to create the table in my warehouse for each of that file. So right now I don't have table here, and then I would like to create. So I'm going to go right here, and you can see that we already have extracted the list of the file by using child items by Get Metadata Activity. Now I want to loop through this list and create tables and read the files. I have to use a ForEach loop here, so I can click right here and then go to the ForEach loop. Now I'm going to connect this green line here, and now on success of Get Metadata, it is going to go to the ForEach. Let's go to setting of the ForEach here, and then either you want to run the activities inside in a sequence, or you want to let them run in parallel. Let's run them in parallel. That's fine. And if you hit on the sequential, then it's going to be running one item at a time. So let's click on the items box here, and once we click on the items here, it says add dynamic content. I'm going to click right there, and now it's going to show me all those different properties from the Get Metadata activity. Now here, remember that we were using child items, so we are going to click right here, and then it's going to read all those child items for us. Now inside the ForEach loop, I'm going to go and get the copy activity. So let's get the copy activity here, and now we are going to configure. So in this source, what I want to do, I want to make a connection, and if you guys remember that my connection has to be done to the TechBrothers Lakehouse. So that's where our folder is existed, and I need to go to the files here, and then I need to browse to the staging folder or stage folder. So I'm going to select the stage here, and then let's click one file for now. And if you ask me why you are selecting file, because if you are even using for each loop now and you are selecting a file here, because I want to use the metadata or column list of that file to map for my table. All of my files are different files, but they have same structure. So I'm going to click here and say delimited file, and now I'm going to go to the destination here. Then I'm going to go to the further down here and select the tech data warehouse. So that's my warehouse in Fabric. Now I will say auto create table, and it asks me, hey, what will be the name of your table? I will say DBO, and then in the table name I'm going to hit add dynamic content. And here you can see that it is showing me for each item. And if you remember, when we were running the get metadata child items, it was showing us those properties, the name and type. So I'm going to hit dot and then say name. So now don't get confused with this drop down. It is in the cache somehow, so it is actually the name. That's what we are looking. We are not looking for the file name here. So I hit OK here, and now it's going to create that table on each of the execution. Let's click on mapping and then import schema. So here we will provide the file name, so customer underscore India, or any file you can provide, CSV. Okay, now we hit OK, and now it's going to get the schema from the file. It have got the schema. We have ID, we have fname and name and salary. Now let me actually go back here and add maybe one or two more columns. In each of the table, I'm going to go ahead and add additional column called the file name. So, or file path can be added as well, but I'm going to go with the file name because then you will be sure the data is coming from a specific file. And I'm going to call this one file name. Now let's go back to the destination and mapping, and here we will say we can do refresh here or reset, sorry, and let me clear all unmapping and then import mapping again, and then we'll say hit OK. Now it has also included the file name in this one after we added. So we are all good here. Also, if you would like to change the file, the column names, you can. It's your choice. So in this case, if we want to say first name, last name, and all that, that can be done. And salary. Now we are all good here, and let's go to the source again, and remember that we have hard coded this value. I'm going to go right here and go to the add dynamic content as well, and here I will say first for each dot name. That means I'm going to select the name of that file that is returning. So if you see right there, when we were building this and get metadata activity output, if you remember, this is the output and that's the name I'm using here. So child item dot, we provided these item to the for each, and inside the for each, this is the property we are using for the copy activity. Okay, so we are all good here, and if we double click here, and I will take you to the copy, and we can see that we have used this, and that's fine. We will have some issue maybe here because we have provided the item dot name here, and if you remember, this name is going to be having the .csv added to it. We can do one thing. We can just cut this one and then use the replace function here. So in this case, if I use replace here, I have to paste this place here. So item.name, and then I'm looking for CSV. So CSV, and then I want to replace with the just blank. So that will take care of our CSV part. Now tables will be without CSV. We are all good here, and I'm going to run, and it's going to save and run. So get metadata is going to get the list of the file from stage folder. Then it's going to pass those child items to the for each. Then for each is going to extract those values and give to the copy activity. So here it is, and you can see that get metadata, it has extracted all those files. Then once the files are there, it has passed to the for each loop, and all of a sudden for each loop ran all those activities, because in the for each we have not clicked the sequential. If we would have clicked sequential, then it will run one copy activity at a time, and we are fine. Let me go to the first copy activity here, and you will see it is reading the file, and let me show you the file it is reading. So this is reading customer.pakistan, and then other one is reading the other file, and so that's what it is doing. So you can see that this one is reading a media file. So here we see that our activities have failed, and let's click right there and take a look. So failure happened on destination side, and it is saying that the table name cannot end with the dot. So where exactly is that? Let's go back here for each, and then we go to the copy activity, and here is my expression to create the table name. And if you notice that I was replacing .csv and with the blank, I should have replaced .csv, because I'm going to replace the entire thing with the blank and leave the table name. So that's fine. Now here I hit OK, and now we should be good. Let's run this again and save it and run, and it should read all those files and then create a table for us in data warehouse. So if we go to the data warehouse, it should start creating table pretty soon. So all the activities have completed successfully here, and now we can go to this input, and this one is reading the file called, let me show you the file name, customer US CSV. Now if I go to the output, it is showing me the output information, so you can take a look from there. Now let's close this, and if I click on copy activity 1, it shows me file read, file written, or rows read and rows written, and that all that information, so you can see from there. Now let's close that, and now we are going to go back to the warehouse, and here our tables are ready. You can see that we have a customer India here. Let's go to the SQL here, and we can see 3 records are loaded there. Now we can go to the customer Pakistan or some other, and then take a look on those records as well. So you can see the records are loaded as well. So if you notice that maybe the records are the same because I just copy pasted the file, and that's the reason. So now we are all good here, and you learn how to read, use the get metadata activity, then how to get the list of those files from folder, then pass to the for each loop, and then inside the for each loop you use the copy activity and write the expressions. So you got the item dot name, that means the file name for the source, and then you got the item dot name, that's your table name, but you replace the .csv with the blank to create those tables. So I hope you learned something new in the fabric here. I thank you very much. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in next video.